Yeah, how's it? Blunt here, and the Monster Hunter Wilds beta has recently concluded. I thoroughly enjoyed my time playing it, and I wanted to get my thoughts out there. It's sort of video diary format. This isn't a review at all. Just wanted to get my thoughts out, record it, see if it changes, from now playing the beta to the full release. As I mentioned, this isn't a review. I went into this game knowing that my computer did not meet all the requirements for the game, so I won't be talking really about performance and all that, since a lot of the problems I might have had with this are in part due to the fact that my computer just wasn't fully capable of handling it. Instead, I just wanted to bring my thoughts out and talk about a few things. Greatsword mainly. As a Greatsword main, I was really interested to know how exactly it was going to feel in this game, because each game is, different. Same monster Hunter formula is there, but it's not going to feel the same every time, And it definitely felt lighter this time around. I remember when people were talking about the game, people were able to play it at events, and they said it felt very much like Monster Hunter World. So I was expecting the Greatsword to actually feel heavier than it does. But I quickly got used to the lighter feeling, and I think it actually fits the flow of the gameplay a lot better than if it was a heavier feeling weapon. I know that some people are talking about the hit stop is different. I don't know much about that. You can look that up if you want. But in my opinion, Greatsword feels very good for the combat of Wilds. I still got my 3 hits, my shoulder tackles, staples. But now we have focus mode, so I can not miss as much. I'm sure I'll still miss, but aiming it makes it a lot better. Wake up attacks, you'd always have that thing where you try to do a wake up attack in like World, and you're going for a true charge slash, and then you hit the first part of it hits, and you're like, that's not what I wanted. I wanted the last hit to land. Now with focus mode, you can just aim to the side of the monster and just turn mid-swing for the second hit. Really good. We have no excuse now to miss it. As far as, actually, before I go to other weapons, I'll go back to Greatsword. Sheathing was very fast, I felt. Like, I'm pretty sure I checked the armor skills and the weapon skills. I don't think we had quick sheath. I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But playing, you put away your Greatsword incredibly fast. Like, if there's no skill involved, like skill slot, and it's just that's how quick it is now, that's honestly the biggest bonus outside of focus mode to me as a hit and run type Greatsword user. The fact that I can quickly sheath as fast as I can now, potentially just by default, feels really good. Also, the offset rising slash, I mean, it's incredible. Obviously, you're going to get hit a lot as you get used to the timing of it. As far as other monsters as well, I'm sure I'm going to get hit a ton trying to pull it off. But once you fight the monsters a bit, you understand like what moves are really good for it. Visually incredible, feels great. Greatsword, it's only a beta, recency bias. Potentially can be my favorite Greatsword in the entire franchise, for sure. As far as other weapons, I tried every weapon at least twice. Right after Greatsword, I actually went to Lance, because I learned to really like Lance in World. And Lance feels really good. It's one of those weapons where it didn't need a lot of new stuff. Honestly, just getting extra pokes in the combo is great. I really like the shield charge when you hit weak points. That's very fun. And every weapon that I played, I enjoyed to a degree. I think for some reason, dual blades felt very different to me. It's not like I played dual blades a ton. But yeah, it's probably a weapon I was like, oh, I need to get used to this. Charge blade, I don't know if it's because I recently been trying to do more charge blade stuff, but looking at, just a quick look at the controls, I was like, oh, charge blade, it feels right. It makes sense to me. It wasn't really that confusing. Like, I quickly learned how to do all the charges for the sword, the shield, the axe. So that was pretty good. Tried out Insect Glaive. I am not one that uses Insect Glaive a lot, so it felt good to me. I don't know what the hell I was doing with it. Similar to stuff like Hunting Horn. I am one of those that really played Hunting Horn in Rise and Sunbreak, where it was baby easy. But I was thoroughly enjoying it here. I didn't know that you could hit buttons. Like when you do the weak point and he does the multiple musical hits, I didn't realize you could do a button for each hit. But I'll get there. I'll do K-plays and Uno proud. I'll try to get better with Hunting Horn. As far as range weapons go, heavy bowgun is still my favorite of the range weapons. It feels really good here. I really got to do I forget what it's called, but it's the minigun mode essentially. You build that up a lot quicker, it felt like. I was doing miniguns a lot. I missed a lot of hitting weak points, which, aiming on a controller can be done, but it's not the easiest in the world. Yes, that's all my thoughts really about the weapons. The slinger is back, which reaches incredibly far. Like I was seeing prompts to pick up stuff, so I had to test it. It's like, just how far can I be away from something? And you can be incredibly far and use the slinger. So I'm actually really glad the slinger is back. I think they did a good job here. Weak points. I know people had their issues in World with how it was a gimmick that was very overpowering. I like it a lot here now that it's changed to weak points instead of latching onto the monster and making a weak point immediately. Visually, all the stuff's cool. I like how everything hits. I like the new mounting attacks. I think mounting's pretty good. It's mostly World, a bit different, but mostly World. But I like the new animations. I think they're a lot better than they were before. Sneak attack was really good. I like how, depending on the monster, like Chupacabra is not hostile with you really, so you don't need a ghillie mantle to sneak attack him. I don't know if I caught it on footage. I'll put it up here if I did. I was hunting a Yoshiguma, and I believe I was in the middle of fighting it along with other hunters, and they allowed me to just randomly do a sneak attack. I don't know if one of the other hunters, the support hunters, did something, but I was able to just pull off a sneak attack in the middle of combat for seemingly no reason. That was interesting. But combat feels great. Like I said when I was talking about the greatsword, the slight change to how weapons feel when you're using them. I can see it throwing some people off. I definitely wasn't expecting it at first. But after hunting the monsters available to us multiple times, I feel like it really fits this style of combat, like this particular flavor of Wild's combat. So I didn't mind that at all. Actually, I'm really loving how the combat feels and how the weapons feel in this game. And going on to the monsters themselves now, all of them are great. Chupacabra, I'm already particularly a fan of all the amphibians really. I don't think there's been a single bad amphibian in my opinion in the series. Chupacabra is no exception. Love him. He's still probably my favorite monster honestly. Which is funny because he's the first one and he's going to be the punching bag for people to learn how to play the game. There's Aguma, way bigger. Like I know I've seen footage, but then when I'm hunting them, I'm like, oh, they're way more massive than I thought, and I was watching footage of the game beforehand. Alaharo, surprisingly, probably gave me the most trouble in terms of getting hit. Baja probably successfully hit me way more times than any of the other monsters, including Raidou. And moving on to Raidou, incredible monster. Like, no surprise that everyone is talking about how much they love him. Amazing design. Not just visually, but the sound design for him is incredible. Hearing him roar, hearing him just fly through the sky is like so interesting. It's a noise you weren't expecting really. And the fight design I think is really good. I think it is perfect sense for him to be the first Apex we're gonna fight in the game. Hard hitting, really hard hitting. But Raidou doesn't do anything that can really catch you off guard. Like the tails are pretty much obvious. You know how he's going to attack and when he's going to. So dodging it is not the hardest thing in the world. But if you don't dodge, you will get a ton of damage coming your way. So yeah, all the monsters have been incredible. Raidou makes me extremely excited to fight the other Apexes, even the Octopus. And I hate Octopus. And I'm still excited to fight that thing. So yeah, gameplay has done an incredible job on that part. Moving on more to, not the combat now, just to the overall world, the map, travel, stuff like that. The map, look, I don't have an SSD. The graphics aren't like looking amazing on my computer because I know it can handle it. I still love the way this world looks. I think the layout is great. Art style helps carry when graphics are failing at parts, but the map's big without feeling, it doesn't feel too big, Like it's way bigger than any map we've ever had in Monster Hunter, yet I wasn't overwhelmed by it. The Sacred does a great job at traveling, whether you want to have it on auto travel or not. You know, at first you're like, why is this thing constantly running? How do I stop it? Once you learn about the stop and go, like buttons on how to make the Sacred move, Sacred feels incredible to move around on. I'd say I like the Sacred more than I like the Palamute. Palamute's cool, I like dogs, but I don't know, this is the cool fantasy element of a bird raptor that can glide and run on all fours, even though it like runs on two for the most part. It's just real fun. I love the dual weapon system, how you can carry 2 weapons with you on the Sacred. As far as like Sacred making combat easier, sure, I can get on it whenever I want to heal and sharpen, but I was doing essentially the same thing in GU. You know, you just leave to another part of the map through a loading screen where the monster can't get you, and then you just heal and sharpen, so I think that's fine. I'm sure there are ways that they can make the game harder, even with the abilities of the Sacred. Yeah, map's really good. Sacred is great. I can't wait to see all the customization. The weather is incredible. I love all 3 like weather. I don't know what you would call them, but like the fallow, the plenty, and I forget what the storm would be called. I thought I was calling the sand tide, but the sandstorm. Fighting Raidou in the sandstorm. It's incredible. Like the spectacle of it all is incredible. Like just Chatacabra is the punching bag, like I said earlier. Fighting Chatacabra during a sandstorm is pretty badass. Even if he's a pushover monster, it's still cool. Moving on to Endemic Life. Incredible monsters. I love all the little critters I've spotted. And you've probably seen on social media and stuff as people post them. The stuff like the crab that has like the gold symbol on it. I found a starlit ghost rodent or something while I was exploring. I didn't catch it because I was fighting Raidou and it wasn't a quest. I was like, I want to hunt Raidou before he runs away. Yeah, I don't know what the conditions for that blue rodent was. I only saw it one time the entire time I played. And yeah, the world really looks good. I've seen so much of this map because it's the one they showed off the most that I really want to see more of the other maps. You know, we still have at least one more map that's yet to be revealed. I'm assuming it's going to be a snow map. I think we're all assuming it's going to be somewhat snowy. But yeah, as far as like, let's see, do I have any complaints? You know, performance, I can't talk on really because, you know, my computer wasn't going to handle the game. But I'd say the only real complaint I had was that I would get errors more often than not when I tried to join SOS flares. Like I would try to join quests and I get errors a lot. I don't know, again, if that's something to do with not having SSD or if that was just a problem the game has. I'm sure they'll work on it regardless. But yeah, it took a while to actually join quests. I got a lot of errors. And whenever I would shoot up my own SOS flares, it would be for real players and support hunters, and I pretty much always got support hunters. I think one other player actually joined up the entire beta for me, to the point where I just switched it to fully support hunters, because at that point they'll immediately join you because you no longer have to wait to see real players will play. That's the only real complaint I have. Anything I have about like the visuals and stuff, art style wise, is great. I'll get an SSD, don't worry. By the time the full release comes out, I'll have an SSD and it will be able to load all the textures. But I think that's about it. I'm trying to think. Like I wrote notes down, but I think I've gone over everything essentially. Again, this was just pulling my thoughts out to see, you know, things could change. I could have completely different thoughts once the full release comes out. But overall, I really enjoyed this game. Like I still am going to go back to old ones and enjoy them. But the recency bias is definitely going to make going back to World of Rise and be like, no, it just ain't the same. It just don't hit like how the beta hit, because it's new and exciting, it's fun, and I want more. I want to have at least one more demo, maybe. Like maybe closer to release we'll get like a demo out now, because this game is so like open compared to like old Monster Hunter demos. But I'm looking forward to the game. Yeah. Didn't really think about how to end the video. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. If you watched all the way to the end, thanks for listening to me ramble. I appreciate that. And yeah, see you out in the wilds.